Hello, everyone. We will see an example of endpoints of a curve. Let us quickly remind ourselves that the endpoints of a curve are the evaluation of r at the bounds of the parameter. So, for example, if the parameter runs from a to b, then the endpoints of our curve are r of a and r of b. It's important to notice that these points are either points in the plane or in some cases points in 3D space. Let us see a quick example. We have a curve which is r of t is t squared, t cubed. This means that it takes a parameter t to an array which is t squared and t cubed. This guy lives in 3 dimensions because it has 3 entries. And we have that our parameter runs from -1 to 1. So really quickly, the endpoints of the curve are not t equals 1 and t equals -1, because those are real numbers. They are not a point in 3D, okay? Points in 3D look like an array of 3 real numbers, while just one real number won't be a point in 3D. By definition, this means that the endpoints of r are r of -1 and r of 1, whatever they are when we evaluate -1 and 1 in the curve. So let us evaluate. We have that r of -1 is -1, -1 squared, and -1 cubed, and r of 1 is 1, 1 squared, and 1 cubed. So what we have done is that we have plugged the value here into our expression for r of t and taken the result. Now we just simplify to obtain the following. We get, let me see, we get -1, 1, and -1, because -1 cubed is -1. And any power of 1 is 1. So these points are points in 3D space, and they correspond to the endpoints of our curve. Let's see how does that look. We have our curve, which is this orange curve over here. Okay, and as you can see, it's a bit twisty. It comes from below the XY plane in 3D space and goes up after it passes the origin, which is about here. And we can see, after I've marked the endpoints here, that there's a point here, which is -1, 1, -1. You can see that's below the C, below the XY plane. And the other point is A, which is R of 1. It's above the XY plane. And so these points correspond to the coordinates which we have found, and so they are the endpoints of our curve.